Hello everyone, Dean here with the Rogue Deck Chronicles, and I have the privilege of showing y'all our Rogue Deck of the Week showcase this week, featuring Empoleon EX. This idea actually came to me from my local league. I know I shout out them all the time, but yeah, I saw them playing this deck while we were just chilling one night, and I thought this was a really cool concept, and I asked if I could borrow this idea, and they said go for it. So again, shout out to y'all. Also, go to find a local league yourself. A lot of our decks I get from whenever I go to my local league. We are very I wouldn't say we're rogue centric, but we have a lot of off the wall ideas that I get to see and ask permission if I can showcase it on this channel. So yeah, just go out there, find a place of your own. With that being said, let's dive into Empoleon EX. This is very special for me, mainly because this type of deck is what really got me into playing this game. I used to play nothing but steel types because I love the defensive nature of that typing. Granted, we're in a format and a meta where one-shots are a thing, so you're not really seeing a lot of the defensive style. But Empoleon reminded me of a deck from a couple years ago, Crispin SCR V-Star, and I really enjoyed playing that deck. So let's hop into it. So Empoleon EX is a Stage 2 Metal type Pokemon. If you wondered why, Empoleon is actually a Steel type in the video game. It's a Steel Water type, and it has the Emperor's Stance ability. Prevent all effects of attacks used by your opponent's Pokemon done to this Pokemon. So when we go against Dragapult, this blocks the damage counters done to that. So this is actually a very good ability. And then the only attack on this card is Iron Feathers for 210, which is actually similar to the Hisuian Goodra for double metal and a colorless. And then during your opponent's next turn, you take 60 less damage from their attacks. So it's actually a pretty relevant number, the 210, because we can one-shot the Ogerpons, we can one-shot Pheasantipity, we can one-shot a lot of the supporting Pokemon out there, so it helps us get easy KOs at the very end instead of really just being tanky. This is very strategic with the 210 as well. So we play a 2-3-2 line with the Piplup, call for support. We can get a support card for next turn if we're really in a bind. Then we play 2 Prinplups. We don't really attack or use this card much. This is more just so we can get to the stage 2. But the targeted dive attack is actually pretty decent. We can do 70 damage to one of our opponent's bench Pokemon. So there's a lot of 70 HP Pokemon that are just bench sitters. So we can get the Psyducks, we can get, say, Dreepy, Charmanders, stuff like that. If we are in a bind. But as I said, we're not really attacking with the Prinplup. And then for support, we have a 3-3 of the Metang with a Metal Maker. This is how we get our energy onto our Empoleon really quickly. Again, as a reminder, Metal Maker. Once during your turn, you may look at the top 4 cards of your deck and attach any number of basic metal energy you find to your Pokemon any way you like. And then you shuffle the other cards and put them on the bottom of your deck. So this is how we're really accelerating, powering up our Pokemon. And to get our Metangs and our Empoleons out, we have a couple Genesect EXs with Metallic Signal ability. Protect Charge is an attack. If we need it, it's there, but it's really here for the ability. And then an interesting card I like to have in this list is I do play one of the Wellspring Master Ogerpon. The Sob and the Torrential Pump is really good, and we can power it up easily with the Metal Maker on the Metangs. So it's there, just it's a Terra Pokemon, so you can't put damage on there, so if it's on the bench, it's protected from Marnie's Grimmsnarl. Trench Pump is a great attack. Sob, if we need to retreat lock our opponent, is a good option too. It offers just another typing for our deck because we are very metal heavy. So having a water attacker is just a good option to have. Is it the best? Probably not, but I've been having fun with this card. Especially if you can start with this card and get a couple easy KOs. So with our item cards, we play Buddy-Buddy Poffin because our Piplups are 70 HP. We have 70 HP Beldums. It's a great card to set up. One counter catcher because I do find ourselves coming from behind a lot. One Earthen Vessel. Yes, we want to attach our energy from the Metangs, but sometimes we need to attach the water energy, and this is a great way to get our water energy. Spoiler alert, we play water energy. 3 Nest Balls, a little lighter on the Nest Balls just because we have the Buddy-Buddy. It's really only there for the Genesect and the Ogerpon. 2 Pokégear to get our supporters. 2 Rare Candies to evolve into our Empoleon really quickly if we need to. And then 1 Super Raw to get the energy and our cards back into our deck. And then I play 2 full Metal Labs for our support, our stadium. It just, all our metal Pokemon take 30 less damage, so our Empoleons, our Metangs, when that card is in play, we're taking less because this is really about tanky. So we're taking 90 less when this is in play if we use the attack on the Empoleon. I did fool around with playing Iron Defender and Jumbo Ice, but I just couldn't find room for them. I'd rather have more consistency in my list. So supporters, Arven, just because we play a lot of items, we play a decent amount of tools as well, as we'll go and see. Boss, of course, we want to boss up easy targets when we can. I do play 2 Crispin because we are playing both the metal and the water energy. This is a great way to power up our Pokemon if we can't get the Metal Maker going. I've done this a couple times in my play testing, and this is actually a very good card to have with this deck. 1 Iono just for hand disruption, and if we're in bind early on, we can get 6 cards. And then 3 Lillies. Lillies is just a busted card in this format. Either get 6 or 8 depending on how many prize cards you have. A lot of times you get Iono down to something very little, and if you can get a Lillies in hand, you can refresh and get a good start for your turn. This is a really good card. And then for our tools, we do 2 Air Balloons so we can retreat back and forth between our Empoleons, or if we have our Genesect, or even if we have just other Pokemon in play, we can retreat. And then our A-Spec of choice is Hero's Cape. Again, we're really leaning into this tankiness of the Empoleon. Would Secret Box be better? Probably. Prime Catcher? Probably. Even Pokeball A, I've seen that list in a couple other Empoleon lists. I just think Hero's Cape is a little better, just because, I don't know, it just gives you more oomph in your HP. So we're going Hero's Cape. Plus, I think it's an underrated A-Spec. No one really plays it anymore. So to be able to find a deck that can showcase this A-Spec, I think let's take advantage of that. And then 1 TM Evolution, just so we can get our board set up. And then we play 9 Metal and 3 Water. So we have 12 energy, a good split to where we're going to get a decent amount of hits on our Metal Maker with the metal. We don't need to do it every single turn. Once we have our Pokemon set up, we're fine. So that's why we can like go a little lower on the metal count. And then with our attacks having this single colorless, having a water energy isn't the worst thing in the world. We need it for the Trench Pump anyway. So I like this energy split. I may consider taking a water away for another metal, or even just taking a water away for like another card, like maybe an artisan or something. But I've been finding that this is working for me for now. Disclaimer, Is this the best deck in the world? No. This is a fun deck. With Charizard really being around right now, this is unfortunately bad timing for playing Metal. The Mega Charizard EX is super powerful. I've ran into that multiple times because of Tord's list. But if you can avoid the fire matchup, this is actually not bad. But yeah, let's take this onto the ladder and see how it plays out. Okay, y'all, we're hopping into our first match here with Empoleon EX. I'm going to choose heads. Something I didn't mention in the intro, I don't have my webcam up. It's not really working at the moment. I'm going to go first. So I'm just not going to have the webcam, not going to worry about it. If you do miss my face, let us know in the comments. But right now, with just a lot of stuff going on, I just don't have the time to really get a new webcam. I'm going to fix it, and hopefully we'll be back for the next video I do for y'all. But at least we have the gameplay, and that's the more important thing. So we have a mulligan. So they're going to see what deck we're playing, unfortunately. But we start off with all the Piplups, so... And we have a Buddy-Buddy, so we actually have a pretty decent start. We'll see what our opponent's playing. So, looks like... I don't know what this deck is with Monkey Dory and Lunatone. Maybe this is the Ursaluna deck that's out there? But we're just going to set up our bench. Get Piplups, get our Beldums here. Do I want to bench the... I want to bench the... No, because I need the space for the Genesect. So I'm just gonna pass. We got our, honestly, this is the best setup I've had in a while. Granted, yeah, I don't have any energy out, but that's what we have the Metangs for. So we don't really miss not doing energy. So they'll get the Solar Lunatone engine going. And we'll see what type of deck this is. A lot of decks are playing this engine just because the draw is so good and the attack on the Solrock is so good. So, but I think this is the baby Ursaluna deck because they really rely on the Monkey Dory. If you want to see this deck in action, we do have a video featuring this deck before rotation. And it is a pretty fun deck. Oh, interesting. They're playing a lot of tools. So Vengeful Punch, so if I attack into them, or attack, or is it knockout? I have to knock out. So, wasn't expecting this. So we'll go with the Piplup. I don't want to sacrifice the Metangs yet. But yeah, they just had a crazy start. Let's see if we can get a supporter to this turn. We do not. This is awkward. We'll evolve. Just hope they don't have a boss. I'm gonna play down the Ogerpon now. I'm not afraid of that. We have a bench space open. And we're just gonna pass. We don't have energy. We don't really have much. If we had energy, I would have done the TM evolution and get my board state going because I could have evolved up the Empoleon and get a Metang out. Unfortunately, that's not on the cards for us right now. So they're just going to take out another knockout. Kind of wish I would have benched that Ogerpon, but I didn't want to risk stuff. But it's interesting to see what this deck is, because so far it's just Solrock, Monkey Dory, and Lunatone. I haven't really seen this before. Obviously, it's working for them. They're probably just preying on these setup decks like Empoleon. I'm going to promote the Ogerpon. see what we get. Another Buddy-Buddy. I'll just pass. We don't have nothing going on. At least they can't one-shot the Ogerpon, because we're only doing 70. I believe it's 70. Yeah. Unfortunately, we're not knocking out the Soul Rock either. So let's see what we can get going here. Better than nothing, I guess. Actually, what I'm gonna do is I'm high rolling it here. I'm just gonna evolution. Get my board set up, choose my Prinplup and a Beldum, get a Metang on here. That way we're also not giving them any damage for the Monkey Dory to play with. Granted, it would only have been 2, but we don't want to give them any ammo that we don't have to. So they're drawing through their board very nice, or through their deck very nicely. They don't really have a lot going on. They can 3-shot us, which I'm sure that's what they're planning on doing. So they're gonna boss. Try to take out one of our Beldums, get an easy prize for them. I wonder if they realize they can't knock out that Beldum. They probably did, and that's why now I'm stuck in there. So that's an option. So we got Hero's Cape. Let's see what we can do here. Get one. To be honest, I don't care if they lose that. I'm just gonna be a tanky EX here. They can take the Beldum. And see what they do. That's only from hand? Yeah, so this is only when it attaches from hand. So because Metal Maker's coming from the deck, Climb and Snowy Mountain isn't going to work for us. But with that being said, that is a telltale sign that this is the baby Ursaluna deck, and they're just not playing down that Ursaluna. So we are going to Nest Ball for Genesect. Mainly because that's the only Pokemon we can get. But we can get thin out some cards here. That way we can have better odds with our Metal Makers. So we fail that one. Maybe we get lucky and get 2 on this. We get 1. That was a weird animation. So we'll put 1 on there. We'll just pass. We'll see what they do. I wonder if this is when they're actually going to do the Ursaluna play now. But ideally, you want 2 Monkey Dories down, so that way you can put more energy or more damage on your opponent's Pokemon. So they either have to put down a second Monkey Dory or the Ursaluna. And I don't think with how it's working, they'll have enough damage to move on to me. So so they're just going to attack. We'll see what we can do this turn. We got a Water Energy. So worst case scenario, we have we can have the attachment. But I am going to just thin out. See if we can just get another metal on there. We do. Because if I can save that water energy for the Ogerpon, I would like that. Let's see if we can get any more. We don't. I'm going to attach on there. And we're going to get damage from the Vengeful Punch. But we'll at least knock out their Pokemon. Granted, they have 2 more set up. And we're basically playing a single prize game while we gave them a couple of 2-prizers. So we just have to be a little quicker, a little more tanky. This is when I wish I did play the Jumbo Ice, but again, I don't have room in my deck for that. So this is what they're doing. They're waiting to put energy onto me, or damage onto me. I don't know if that's going to be enough to knock me out. I don't know the math that well with this deck. That is more of a dev question. He played this deck, so he understands the ins and outs. I'm just familiar with it. It is a fun deck, though. And I feel like they did play this well, keeping with the single board state and going with Ursula until they really have to. Because they can move all that damage onto me. And then actually, they're actually doing a boatload of damage. Oh, they're moving it to the Genesect. Probably because there's enough on me to knock me out. So, I wonder how much damage they are doing, because I don't feel like doing math. We'll let the computer do the math for us. 460. That is a lot of damage. And unfortunately, I'm pretty sure this is going to be game, because I already have damage on the Wellspring. We'll lose Determination, get fresh 6 cards. Let's see if we can get hit with the Metal Makers. Now we have Earthen Vessel. Nope. We get 1. I wish we had counter catcher and try to get a couple prizes or stall out the Lunatone, but at this point we'll accept our fate. We'll just play it out. So we will do 100 damage, we'll shuffle, and we'll knock out we'll knock out one of the Monkey Dories. They've been annoying. At least we get a prize card from this. Honestly, they can just attack us. Yeah, 310. They're doing way more than enough damage. So, oh well. Single prize decks are hard for us. We are a setup deck, and they can just do a bunch of damage at once. So this was a pretty tough matchup. But we'll go into another game, see how that does with this deck, and hopefully we can come out with a victory. Okay everyone, we're into another game here with Empoleon EX. Let's see if we can get a victory with this one. So we're gonna go first, just so we can set up a little bit, get it a turn. Looks like we both mulligan here. So they're going to see what my turn is, or what deck we're playing, because we're going to mulligan again. But yeah, I'm having fun with this deck. As we mentioned in the podcast, this is just a unfortunate time for this deck. Play Genesect here. I'm gonna use it just to thin. That way I have a better shot of getting something that I want. But our opponent starts with Serendipity, which having the 210 HP is perfect once we get the Empoleon set up, because we hit that for exact numbers. So that's one thing I like about the Empoleon attack as well, because we do hit numbers for those supporting Pokemon. There are two prizers, so they're playing Abra. I wonder what this deck is. I wonder if this is the Alakazam deck? So, let's see, what should I do? I am going to play Lilies, because that way we can get fresh 8. I know it's counterintuitive with pulling out some stuff, but put that there. And we'll just call for support. We get a supporter for next turn. Do we want Lilies or do we want Arven? I want to grab Arven, because we have the Empoleon in hand, so I can Arven for Rare Candy, get into the Empoleon, and then use the Genesect to get a Metang, and hopefully it will be enough to set up our Empoleon to attack. So they are playing Alakazam. Okay. With Zot, it looks like they have the Zot 2 engine. I can see that. But it looks like they're probably going to retreat and knock out our Piplup, because they don't really need much to knock us out with that hand size. Okay, so we're a little behind right now, but it's not an issue. We can actually kind of high roll here, and we can knock out the Alakazam if we get lucky. So let's use Metallic Signal, get out some Metangs just so we can thin a little bit. Play Arven. I'm glad we got that off the attack, because now we can use Buddy-Buddy. And we'll grab TM Evolution, just be on the safe side. Or Buddy-Buddy here, set up our board a little bit. I'm gonna grab 2 Piplups. I'm just going to, what should I do here? 6. I'm just going to take out the water energy. Better hit on our metal. And if we get 2, we will be golden, and we get 0. Okay, well we will attach water energy, attach TM evolution, and we're just gonna evolution and try and get our Piplups going here. I'm glad that we're getting both out. That way if they boss up one of them, we're good. But I have a feeling that they're just gonna go after the Genesect and get the 2 prizes. So this is actually a very interesting build of the Alakazam. Typically you see with the Dunsparce, or the Dunsparce engine. We've been seeing a lot more of on the tournaments. It does really well in online tournaments. My buddy actually played the Alakazam deck in Las Vegas and actually got to a win-and-in situation. So I'm very proud of him for that. Playing a very interesting deck, and he said he has fun with it. But I like the Xatu engine because you can do multiple attachments. Oh, sorry y'all. So it is an interesting take on the deck. I kind of like it though. If you want to see us play it, we did do a showcase on this deck when it first came out. Obviously, it actually got better. Okay, we're gonna evolve up our Pokemon here. But yeah, the Alakazam deck actually got better with Phantasm Flames because you got the Wonders patch. So, I'm going to Lillie's actually. Because we had a couple Metal Energy in our hand, we want to put that back in. We'll get the Beldum down. Actually, we'll get 2 Beldums down. Better with our odds here. Let's see what we hit with this. Still none. Ugh. I'm not liking this. I want to do more than one. We're just going to end our turn. I'm just going to sacrifice the Genesect here. Really not much I can do about that. But yeah, Alakazam, it got the Wonders patch, which helps you basically double attach in a turn. So they're drawing some more. Honestly, actually they're probably trying to knock out my Empoleon. But they're not going to boss me up because they already used Dawn. So they'll take out the Genesect super easily here. We do play that one of Iono, so if we can catch them without being able to draw some more, we should be fine, but this deck is notorious to draw anything. Oh, cool. We got another Metang. Let's see if we get one. We do not. No supporter this turn for us. We'll have boss. Because we can boss up the Pheasantipany. But let's see if we can actually attack this turn. We need to get 2 energy here. Okay, we get 1. Are we going to get lucky with another one? We are. So I can either attack this, knock this out, or attack the Pheasantipany and force them to get or I can force them to get an Alakazam. I'm gonna just go for the 2 prizes just so I can get some stuff. And we get the Super Rod, so we can get our Genesect back and get the last one. I'm actually going to read this real quick. Prevent all effects of attack. Ooh. So, if I'm reading this right, they cannot attack us with Alakazam because they're doing damage counters, which is an effect of an attack. So they have to go after our single prizes here. Which, if I wouldn't have known that, I wouldn't have placed this many support Pokemon on my bench. So that's on me for not really reading and not understanding this deck further. But we're also making them use bosses. I'm not sure how many bosses that they have. So we'll see if my interpretation of the text is correct, because this, if that's the case, this is a favorable matchup because they can't attack us unless they go into the Kingston, which is looking like that's what they're doing. Yeah, so they can't attack us. So let's use Super Rod. Put at least 1 energy back in. I'll put in the Genesect. We don't really need anything else. Let's see if we can start powering up our second Empoleon here. Not this time. No worries. I'm actually going to try to knock out that Kangaskhan when I can. Because they can get lucky and knock me out, which is fine. But then I can do the return KO and they're stuck. They can't attack me. And then I'm also 1 step closer from winning the game because I take 3 prizes. I'm also tempted. I think my Wellspring's actually prized, but if my Wellspring's not prized, I can set up the Wellspring and get 3 prizes this turn if I'm lucky. But 2 of my energy are water energy are in the discard. I believe I have 1 more left in the deck. But we'll see if they knock us out. If they get a single tails, we're fine. have to try to win this battle when we can. We're actually very close. We actually have a good board set up here. See if they can attack us. But yeah, if we can win this, that would be awesome. Like, I thought usually single prizes are not good for us because they will always win the prize race. Okay, cool. They only do 140 because our attack. We'll play Arven. Yeah, so our Wellspring is prized. But we'll get Hero's Cape here. Actually, we'll get Air Balloon. And then we'll get Pokégear for next turn. Let's see if we can set up the other. Okay, one more attempt to get energy here. We got energy. So we can retreat into the fresh one. I believe. Yes. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to retreat. And just attack, get 3 prizes, making them go into a fresh Empoleon EX. There's our Wellspring, there's a Crispin for us, and our other Genesect that we're missing. But yeah, if we can get a boss. How many bosses have we played? We only played 2 in the deck. We played 1, so the other one should be in our deck. But yeah, if we can somehow get a boss next turn, we should be fine. So their boss amount, probably our damage one, yeah. So they get 2 prizes. So they need to retreat into their Kangaskhan and get another energy on there to attack us. And even then, I think they need to get maybe at least 1 heads knock us out. 200. Actually, no, because we didn't use the attack on that one, they can knock us out. Oh, so they don't have it. So this is game. We have this. We only need 1 more prize. And let's just knock out the Alakazam for our last prize. No need to do anything else. So yeah, Alakazam is a favorable matchup once you actually read the cards. So yeah, we got a dub with Empoleon EX. The ability really saved us this time around. Totally forgot it negates Alakazam. So this is another deck that the Emperor Stance ability saves us. So yeah, let's go into another game and see how Empoleon EX deals with the next opponent. Okay everyone, we're in another match here with Empoleon. Last game we were able to really utilize the Empoleon card to its full ability. We saw the ability on the card being used. We were able to take advantage of we're able to take advantage of the attack and get the damage reduction. So it was a very good way to really showcase what this deck can do. So they'll say that we're playing Empoleon. We'll start off with Beldum, but our first turn isn't bad. Because we have the Buddy-Buddy, so we at least set up, we have some energy. It looks like we're going against the Gardevoir deck, so we'll see how this goes with them. So we'll play Buddy-Buddy. They're not really attacking the first turn, so we have some time to really set up our board if we need to. And we're just going to pass. I want to save the Air Balloon. So it looks like they're just doing typical Gardevoir stuff, getting their board set up. They got 3 vaults in play. Sorry, y'all. But yeah, this will be a good chance to see how this deck really deals with one of the top decks right now. Because I will say Gardevoir is the BBIF. Granted, it did not do well with Stuttgart. Well, I can't say that. It did great in Stuttgart. It just didn't make top cut. But again, like it's a great deck. What should we do here? Attach energy. I can Arven and get my board set up, or I can try to Lillie and get more cards. I'm gonna Lillie and try and see more here. We're close. Actually, no, I think we can do this. So Genesect, we'll use Metallic Signal. We have the Rare Candy, so we can get some things going here. So if I can get 2 energy, we can attack this turn. So let's see if we get lucky here. Just 1. So we'll just power up the Empoleon, and we'll just end our turn. We got the Crispin for next turn if we need it. Whew. Excuse me, y'all. Full disclosure, when I'm recording this, it's early in the morning. I'm just waking up. Usually I record in the evenings, but due to just other stuff going on, I'm like, I'll just wake up early and get this video out for y'all. So we have the Gardevoir already out, but they have no other attacker. It's typically with Gardevoir, they're really going to be relying on like their Scream Tail, their Drifloon, so their Mega Diancie. So that's a new addition to the Gardevoir deck. So, actually, with playing against Gardevoir, I'm wondering, I need to read Scream Tail. I'm wondering if the ability on Empoleon blocks Scream Tail, because I can't remember if they're placing damage counters or damage. Oh, Diancie's weak to metal, so this is going to be cool. We'll get 3 prizes this way. I'm not sure if they realize that. So, let's don't really want to put energy. We're going to Iono here, just because that's the best card for it right now, based what's in our hand. Perfect, so we're getting some board set up a little bit more here. I'm going to preemptively put it on the Piplup. I'm not really too concerned about the TM evolution at this point. We're just going to attach it to our bench, so that way if we get Iono, it's not going back into our deck. And I think that's really all we can do for now. So we'll just hit. It looks like we're hitting for 390 damage. Because we're hitting for weakness. So we're getting 3 prize cards here. So we're going ahead. But they probably planned that, to be honest. Because Gardevoir likes to play from behind. They play a lot of counter catcher. So we need to be careful. But they're playing a lot of support Pokemon here, so we can one-shot that Mew because we are doing 210 damage. We can one-shot, obviously we one-shot the Monkidori. So we just need to be mindful of how we attack. But because we did use the attack last turn, we're taking 60 less damage. So we'll see what they're doing, because right now it looks like their only attacker is Gardevoir. So it's interesting that they're not pulling the other Pokemon that they need. Actually, they're going to attack with the Mew, and because of the Bravery Charm, we're not going to one-shot them. Actually, now we are. Because they didn't get that damage off. So this is actually putting us in a pretty good spot here. So we'll evolve here. We're going to use Metallic Signal, we'll get another Metang, and we'll get the Empoleon out just in case. We'll attach the Prinplup here. Let's use Nest Ball. Do we have the Wellspring? We do have the Wellspring. So I'm actually gonna get that here. Try and maybe set that up a little bit. Okay, we fail on that one. We don't have an energy in this card, right? Yeah. Even if I get 1 energy on the... Oh, here we go, 2. Perfect. So this is kind of giving us a scary board state here. We will Arven. We'll grab a Hero's Cape here. I'm gonna grab Pokégear for next turn. I don't see the need of putting the Hero's Cape on just yet, because this is probably gonna get knocked out next turn. But it's more about just thinning our deck. So we're just gonna attack. Oh, we're only doing 150 because of the attack. So they were smart with that. So they are gonna knock us out next turn here. But we can probably set up a 3 prize turn for next with the Wellspring if they don't turtle up their Mew. Because we do have Earthen Vessel in hand, so we're forcing them to Iono us. So it looks like they may be attacking with the Gardevoir here, because they kind of can see what our plan is. So we need to try to get our boss for next turn. How much damage do we hurt? I wonder if I probably should have put. Yeah, I probably should have put the Heroscape on. I could have survived this turn. But it's fine. We have Empoleon in our hand. We can always Metal Maker. We have Super Rod, Metal Maker, so I think we're in a good spot if we want to attack with the Empoleon. And then they put down another Diancie. So if we do get a boss, the Diancie is going to be an easy 3 prizes, and we can end off the game here. So we actually have a lot of good options here against, honestly, the BDIF of the format. So I'm glad we can show that like we can hold our own to the top deck right now. So they use Lilies. So we have the Earthen Vessel if we want to go with the Wellspring play for next turn. We have the Empoleon if we want to go with the Empoleon. So we have options for next turn. Interesting. So they go that route. Get 2 here. I'm actually going to try to go with the Wellspring route right now, because it puts us in a better position. We even get the water energy. This is awesome. So we'll attach the water energy for turn. I'm actually going to use Super Rod here. Put back Metal Energy. Don't really need it, but I'm going to also... I'll just put back these 3. It'll also shuffle our deck. We'll use Metal Signal to thin out here. We'll just grab the 2 Pokemon. And if we can get boss, we can get game, because I can always retreat. So Arven, Lillie, and Crispin. Do not get boss here. I'm gonna grab Arven. Because we can take out the Mew and get 2 prizes. I'm going to try to set up for... another Empoleon if I can. Just to be on the safe side. See if I can get some energy here. Do not. We get 1, okay. Better than nothing here. I'm actually gonna just keep the Wellspring. I don't think they can do 310. Yeah, and let's just do Torrential Pump. We're not knocking out the... Yeah. We're not knocking out the Gardevoir, obviously, but we can knock out that Mew and get 2 prizes and kind of get into a better board state here. Shuffle some energy back into the deck. Get 2 more prizes. So Counter Catcher is now a dead card, but we're kind of being aggressive in this matchup. And the cool thing is, if I can get the Wellspring set up again, we can actually win next turn by taking out one of their squishy Pokemon here. If we can get Boss, we can take out really anything at this point. We have 1 prize card. I think we're really forcing them to use Iono on us, because now we have Lilies to really give us a fresh hand if we need it. I'm actually very impressed with how well we're doing with Gardevoir. Actually, this is, again, the best deck in format in my opinion. We're really making them like go through their deck. I'm wondering if this version just doesn't play the Screamtail, doesn't play the Drifloon, or if they're just choosing not to because of the Emperor's Stance ability. Again, I need to read what Screamtail does. I can't remember if they're placing damage counters or damage. If it's damage counters, yeah, it completely blocks Empoleon. And I know this deck cannot really take more than 2 Pokemon out at a time through an attack. Again, they can try to do Monkey Dory here, but it's just not going to be enough. So they either have to take out the Empoleon or they have to take out the Wellspring. And they don't play Shaman, so I can do Torrential Pump again if I get fortunate enough to be able to do that. So they're just going to hit into us, they're not going to knock us out. Metal Energy, okay. How much does this have? 260, so we can't knock that out. Okay, so we need to try a Metal Maker and get 2 energy. There we go. We got this. This is game. Earthen Vessel away. The Counter Catcher, we don't need that anymore. We'll just grab the 2 water energy, doesn't matter. And then we'll just Torrential. Oh, we're only doing 100. Oh yeah, we can do this. Oh, sorry, it's only 100 to the active, 120 to the bench. So we can just pick anyone, but we'll pick the damage rolls just because. And there we go. Empoleon beat Gardevoir. We are able to use our secret tech of the Wellspring to really go after the bench here. They went a little greedy with the Mew, and we were able to take advantage of that. But yeah, we can see Empoleon really taking down the top deck. So a nice little mean, fun deck can still hold its own to the BDIF. So I'm glad that we were able to do that. Well, that's Empoleon EX for y'all. I know the first game was a little rough, but at least we saw how we can set up this this deck. The last two games were actually pretty fun. Again, we're always learning how these decks work. As we saw with Alakazam, I didn't realize the ability, the Emperor Stance ability, really came in clutch there for us. And then with the game 3 going against Gardevoir, which is arguably the BDIF, the best deck in format right now, we were able to really do well with it. Took advantage of Mega Diance's weakness. We were doing 210 and also using our secret tech of the Wellspring. Yeah, that's here, yep. Using Torrential Pump to go after the low HP Pokemon that Gardevoir is known to put on the bench and leave on the bench. So this deck is, again, it's a fun deck. Like, if we can avoid those fire decks, those Charizard decks, this is actually a pretty fun and pretty good deck to play. Would I say play this to a challenge? Maybe. It depends on what your local meta is. But once you get this deck set up, it's actually pretty fun. Doing the 210, getting the damage reduction for your next turn. Yeah, I kind of really enjoy this. If I would change stuff in this list, I will probably look into the Jumbo Ice Cream. That way we can get a little more damage off our Pokemon when we attack. I will probably also maybe experiment with another Ace Spec. Secret Box or even Prime Catcher may be a good option here. And then I'll probably maybe put in a couple different Pokemon as well. There's that Bronzong with the Protected Bill ability. That's a good option to really be more defensive. I will probably maybe put in, I don't know, another attacking Pokemon. That way we're just not relying on the Empoleon and the one of the Wellspring. I tried playing 2 Wellsprings, but I couldn't figure out what else to cut. I feel like this is a pretty tight list as it is. But again, I like having the Metal Maker Metang in here to be able to power up your Pokemon in one shot. Like, you saw how that came in clutch to finish off the Gardevoir matchup. But yeah, this is fun. I like this. If you're looking for a nice steel type deck, we don't really have a lot of those out right now, this is a great option for you. So yeah, have fun. Let us know what edits, what differences you would do in your list if you play Empoleon in the comments below. Again, if you made it this far in the video, please like and subscribe to our channel. We're always looking to grow. We're always looking to interact. So if you want to comment, let us know what you think of this deck. Let us know. We always reply back to y'all. But yeah, again, thank you for letting me show y'all this deck. And as always, have fun playing those sneaky decks. See y'all.